Ciao e bentornati, welcome back to Pillole d'Italiano. L'episodio di oggi, episodio numero 125, è molto particolare e diverso dal solito. Yep, today's episode is very much out there and different from what I've been doing so far. You could see it just by looking at the title, Stop Learning Italian. What is that about? How is it that an Italian language coach is telling you to stop learning Italian? Well, let me explain what I mean by telling you a bit about the inspiration for this episode. Lately, I've been receiving messages and emails, a few of them, that actually rotate around the same theme of tiredness, burnout, dissatisfaction, feeling frustrated, etc. Now, this happens oftentimes for one of two reasons. If you too are experiencing that type of burnout and frustration, it might be because of motivation. That's a primary reason, the primary thing I will look into. Is it by any chance that you decided to learn Italian because you feel somewhat obligated, forced by your dead Italian relatives or by living ones that want you to partake in that tradition? Or maybe because you're marrying into an Italian family and you feel like you have to be able to communicate with them, but you don't really care too much about learning the language? Or maybe for a bunch of other reasons that are external. If the motivation is not internal, if it feels like an external pressure, you're only destined to bump into that burnout type of scenario. Sooner or later, it will happen. And my best advice would be just to drop it. You don't have to learn Italian or anything else for that matter if it doesn't come from within. If you don't have your internal reasons, your internal motivation, then just drop it. Free that mental space for something that you feel passionate about. That's the best gift that you can give to yourself. And especially right now, we're approaching the end of the year. Everyone starts thinking about New Year's resolution. Well, Italian doesn't have to be on that list unless you feel passionate about it. So if you've been studying Italian because of external pressures, just drop it. Stop learning Italian. But you might also be feeling a bit frustrated and burnt out having chosen to study Italian. So maybe the motivation is in the right place, but right now you're at a point where you kind of forgot why you've been doing it. You need to rediscover that passion. And to you as well, I would say stop learning Italian temporarily. Just take a month off, maybe 2 months off. Free your head. Give yourself that space that will allow you to miss it and to think also about the real motivation that brought you to studying Italian in the first place. Because there might be an issue with motivation even though you chose it. It might just be a matter of rediscovering it or going deeper and really discovering the root of it that will just spark that passion that will keep you going. Because we all know that learning languages take time to bring it to a certain level of proficiency if you want to become bilingual. It's almost like a never-ending journey in a good way, though, if you come to it with that passion, with that curiosity. But if you feel like that every new thing that comes up is another reason to hate the language, then really take a step back or a couple of steps back. Stop learning for a little while. Just de-Italianize your whole life for a couple of months, and then in the new year you can get in touch with me. I'm always available to have this type of conversation. I will try to help you out and rediscover your passion and your motivation in the first place. So to recap, if you are experiencing any type of frustration or burnout, right now is the moment to embrace this period of Italian detox. And in the new year, you can reach out, we can talk, and I will be more than happy to make recommendations and help you move forward in a way that speaks to you. Now, we said that the problem could be motivation, but could also be a secondary type of problem, which is approach, or maybe a combination of both of them. Let's talk about approach for a second. When it feels like you've been doing a lot or everything that you can think of, but you're still not progressing, you're probably not doing the right things. Now, I do not subscribe to there is a right approach and a wrong approach in absolute terms, but there is definitely a right or wrong approach for you. So when I receive messages such as, oh my God, I've been doing everything that I can think of, I've been doing this, this, and that every day, and I cannot bring myself to do more, that's a big red flag. When I see these type of comments, I am reminded of that quote, do not work harder, work smarter. So probably what you've been doing is trying to work harder at what you're currently doing, applying what you already know how to do and what you heard other people doing, what you think you should work, trying to do it more, not getting results, getting frustrated. And that is just going to also cripple your motivation in the end. What I am recommending is to work smarter. So right now might be the time where for the holidays you're going to take a step back. You too are going to take a break and detox from Italian, and then circle back in the new year to try and find a different approach. Because what's going to happen is that even after a break, if you apply the same approach, is going to lead you to the same results, right? That's kind of the definition of insanity. Keep going with the same things and expecting a different outcome. So after your Italian detox, going back to the same type of approach will only lead you to the same type of results and increased level of frustration. What can you do then? Stop learning Italian for a little bit, take a deep breath, in and out. Yes, you're allowed to put down the books and the apps and get back to Italian in January, February. Maybe set a date for when you want to come back to it so that you don't lose it. If you feel like you have a strong motivation to learn Italian, don't just drop it forever. Decide right now when you're going to circle back, and until then, until that date comes up on your calendar, don't do anything that is Italian related. And when you're ready to start again, before getting back on a horse, applying the same old approaches, get in touch with me. You're going to find a link in the description of this episode to schedule a consultation call with me. You can also look on my website. If you are one of my email subscribers, you will be receiving a weekly newsletter, so it's super easy to get in touch with me simply by replying to the email. Anyway, there are many ways that you can get in touch with me. I'm always happy to organize these short consultation calls, and by hearing what you've been doing so far and what the results are, I will be able to come up with personalized recommendations so that you can start and get back on the horse in a fresh new way that is going to be effective and bring you fast results, so that we'll avoid getting and bumping into that frustration and burnout feeling again at the end of next year. So overall, whatever the reason is for you to feel that level of frustration and burnout, whether that is linked to motivation, to your approach, or both of them combined, take a step back, stop learning Italian, give yourself a break, enjoy the holidays, and get in touch afterwards. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If so, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel if you're new to it. Feel free to share. This could be a super useful episode for people that are feeling frustrated right now. Maybe that's not you, but you know somebody who's going through something similar. So please share it, and I will see you super soon. Ciao, a presto!